In a world where nonsense is normal, comes a walking talk so amazing it will oh wait, 1 second. Sorry, I gotta stop. Welcome everyone to another walk and talk. I'm here out getting some steps in, and I thought I'd film it for some unknown reason. But anyway, the St. Louis Cardinals have been struggling this year. Now, they have been playing a lot better lately. They started out the year 14 games under 500. They're starting to work their way back, so there is still hope. And they've blown a lot of games, including a game we went to that's on the channel a few videos down. But it reminded me of the year 2007. And I wanted to take a minute to talk about that year. Now, at a murder scene, I know sometimes they'll do like a chalk outline, but I was wondering, when the case goes to court, do they also do a diagram? What is the most questionable city in Kansas? No idea? I think it's Wichita. All right, so 2007, the Cardinals had just won the World Series in 2006. They pretty much brought back the same team who were all a little older, and the entire season was a complete disaster from beginning to end. It's the only season in this century, I believe, the Cardinals did not have a winning record. And that year, I think I went to like 10 different games, and I think they lost all but like one. And then half of them had a rain delay. So it was just an awful, awful year. Back then, they used to do something called the first pitch tickets, where if you got to the park at like 9 in the morning, you could pay like $11. You get a voucher to come back and get 2 tickets. They could be anywhere in the park. So a guy I worked with would sometimes do this. He would get off work, I think early in the morning. He would go to Busch, pay the $11, get the voucher, go home and sleep, come back for game time, and we would go in and get 2 tickets to anywhere. We didn't know where our seats would be. Well, this particular day, it was April 2007, we got our envelope and we got tickets, and they were really good. They were in the lower level, like kind of behind third base. You know, they were good seats. And when I got to the stadium, it was like 75 degrees. So I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt like an idiot, not realizing what was to come. You know what's strange? If you were to cut down a forest illegally, you would probably get maybe jail time, maybe a huge fine, but you would not be charged with treason. So is MC Hammer not legit anymore? Because he quit like 25 years ago. All right, so we get to the stadium. I think it's like a 7 o'clock game, 7:15 or something. And again, it's like 75 degrees. Immediately, it starts to rain, like torrential thunderstorm downpour, which causes the temperature to drop like 20 degrees. And this is way back before I had like smartphones or anything like that. And I guess I didn't check the weather like an idiot. So it got cold. And there was no game. The game got delayed for 2 hours. So in that time, we were just kind of wandering around the stadium. I was getting food that I didn't really want to pay for, but you have nothing else to do. So the game did not even start until like 9:15. It's already 2 hours later than it's supposed to. So that cleared out a lot of the people from the park. Again, we take our seats. Game gets going. Cardinals score 2 runs in the first inning. Boom. We're off to a good start. Did Bono ever find what he's looking for? It's been a long time. I just want to say, I have never been in or in a drive-through or ever ordered anything ever from a Starbucks. Is that weird? All right, 2-0 Cardinals, first inning. They're playing the Astros. And those 2 runs they scored were the only 2 runs they scored. So it goes to the entire game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No runs have been scored. It's still 2-0 Cardinals in the 9th inning. By this time, it's like 11:30. I mean, it was well past 11 by this time. 9th inning, Cardinals are up 2-0. By this time, we've moved to like the second row. Like, there's no one in the stadium. I believe it's a weekday. I don't remember exactly what day of the week it was, but there's no one there. We're basically like sitting anywhere we want. There's probably just a couple thousand people in the entire park at that. And what happens? Why do Dippin' Dots even exist? I mean, they're ridiculously expensive. They're crappy to eat. And like, they don't make any sense. Just get a regular ice cream. Like, what's the point of Dippin' Dots? I don't get it. Did Bob Seger ever once run with the wind instead of against it all the time? Like, come on, dude. Okay, 9th inning, we're up 2-0. I'm shivering by this point. It's just freezing. The wind's just blowing everywhere. Ready for this game to end. And what happens? The Astros scored 3 in the 9th inning. And what sealed the deal was like a 2-run homer, I think by Carlos Lee. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's who hit it. And I remember I had an umbrella. I had brought an umbrella, so I guess I knew it might rain. And I just remember throwing it like across a section. Like, I just flung it. Like, there was no people around. There was no one around. And I was screaming at Jason Isringhausen, our relief pitcher, how much he did not make that enjoyable. I remember saying, "You ruined my night." And I don't believe I was cursing, but I was screaming. And I was throwing a huge fit and temper tantrum in the stands. And I know he heard me because there was no one there. And the guy I was with, he kind of just walked away, not wanting to be seen with me. And I was also a little concerned because I took the Metrolink down there. I know, today I don't think I'd ever do that again, but back then I did. And I didn't know what time they stopped running. So, you know, it's already 11:30, and I didn't know if they stopped at midnight. I had no clue. So I immediately stormed out of the stadium screaming. When Jada Pinkett gets divorced, and we probably all know that's coming, will she have to update her will? Did we ever find out who the father was to Billie Jean's son? I mean, if it wasn't Michael, who was it? So I remember storming down to the Metrolink station, which is right next to the stadium. Didn't even wait for the Cardinals to come to bat. I was so upset. Some lady was waiting to get on the Metro, and she had said something like, "Oh, what happened in the game," or something, because she didn't know. And I said, "Jason Isringhausen happened. We lost." And I don't think the Cardinals even batted yet in the 9th, and I didn't care. I was just so enraged. And they did end up losing 3-2. And that was just the start of an absolutely horrendous season where, like, half the games I went to had a rain delay. They lost practically every game and in terrible fashion. And I just remember that time when I threw an umbrella across a section and never even got it back. I just let it sit there. Trying to increase the runtime on this video. Is it working? I've been trying to lose some pounds, but I hate getting on the scale, so I think I decided I would just part ways. I've also never seen The Sound of Music, and I'm pretty proud of it. Mother Teresa spent most of her life in India, I believe, if not all her life. But did she ever travel to Singapore? So that was the time I had a meltdown at Busch Stadium, 2007. I have mellowed out a lot since then. I still get really mad when the Cardinals lose, but I don't scream and throw pillows anymore around the room because it's not worth it. So hopefully the Cardinals are on the right track this season after an absolutely horrendous start, worse than 50 years, but we're still in it. I hope you enjoyed this nonsense, and we'll be back again for more nonsense. May the adventure continue. I'm intermittent fasting, and how come when you fast, the time moves extra slow?